what happens if that future sperm has an extra one, say an extra Y, and that has happened. It was called to my attention in looking at a newspaper article a number of years ago, and it was told about a murderer in Australia. There's no doubt that he had murdered someone else, but the interest was that they thought his attorney was using a defense that had never been used before. And what that was, he said, well, if this person has an extra chromosome, because what he had the XY, which is normal, but what was not normal, he didn't have just one Y, he had two Ys, so he was XYY. And what the attorney said, that means every cell in his body is abnormal. That's in the brain as well. And he couldn't help that. He has no control over that. So they were wondering how this case turned out, and the court agreed with him, but they did not let the man loose. They said he would undergo psychiatric evaluation, and so that was that case. At about that same time in France, there was a similar case, but they took a different tact. They thought the individual had some responsibility, but not complete responsibility. So that's an example of the 23rd chromosome pair. Recall the 23rd chromosome pair, often referred to, that's where that affects the sex of the baby. And but this nondisjunction can occur on other chromosomes as well. And one of those chromosomes is chromosome 21. The chromosome pairs have been numbered, and increasingly they know which chromosome a particular problem is on. Well, chromosome 21 is one which is today called trisomy 21, T-R-I, like a tricycle 3. It has that because that's where there are 3 chromosomes. And this is something that the trisomy, many people don't recognize it by that name. It's had various names in the past, such as Down syndrome, or before that it was Mongolism, and the individual has 3 of that. The somy has to do, of the word trisomy, has to do with somatic cells, are the cells that are every cell in your body except for sperm or an egg or the reproductive cell. Much has been changed about how trisomy 21 is being treated. At one time, they thought they had to institutionalize them, and they found so much that the brain is quite plastic, and if you do certain things, you can make a difference. So we have a family friend when that baby was quite young, and the father was an MD, that helped. A lot of MD friends to help, and they started moving that baby's legs and the arms, so there would be synapses would get together in the brain and developed. Anyway, today we love seeing photos how this child has been living such a happy, normal life.